I have a quick testimony about tithes and offerings.
Oh, yeah.
Before I met Ellen, opportunity came to purchase this tract of land out here. And
Where you're sitting is part of it.
yeah. And at the time I was married, and we had two incomes, but we could just make the payment with the two incomes. And the marriage was in shambles at the time, but I thought, well, maybe if we just do this, it'll hold us together. Stupid thinking, but that was the mentality I had at the time. Well, then I get a divorce, and I'm trying to figure out how to even make a monthly payment for the house that I lived in. And eventually I met Ellen, and she came along at a good time because I didn't even have money to fix the transmission on the only vehicle I had. She lent me the money. Nice lady. Well, sometime around that time, I thought I was going to the Methodist church, and I thought it was a good idea to tithe. I didn't know what tithing was. In my mind, tithing was putting a couple dollars in the collection plate for the first time. I thought I put a $20 bill in that plate one Sunday. I felt so good about myself, I called Mom and Dad. I said, that's what I did. Well, that was my idea what tithing was. Well, eventually, John came out. We were having a little bonfire, and John told me about tithes and offerings. He said, 10% of your gross earnings. Well, I'm like, ain't no way. I don't even have a dollar in the bank. I couldn't do that. He just doesn't understand my position. And he said, well, I would have never placed myself in a position to where I couldn't pay my tithes and offerings. That's right. I remember that when he said that. I'm like, he doesn't know.
You asked me what I would do.
Yeah. I said, I didn't ask for this. I didn't know I was going to get a divorce. I mean, I didn't think I was placing myself in a position where I couldn't pay tithes and offerings. But the opportunity came to put my faith in something. It's like I can't do the math to make it work to where I could even do that and pay my bills. But I took a leap of faith, and I said, I'm going to do it because it's the right thing to do, and we'll just see what happens. And I started paying my tithes. Not even my offerings as much. I had to learn about what offerings was, but I wanted to at least give God his part. And ever since that time, God has made a way that I've always been able to pay my tithes and offerings. I might have had to work overtime. God may have had to give me an opportunity some way. He might have kept my car out of the shop, but he always made a way to where I could pay my bills and pay my tithes.
Not in that order.
Yes, pay my tithes first. So you may not see the math working, but God has a way for you to do it if it's in your heart to do his will.
That's right.
And I am a living testimony to that.
Amen.